Oh, this thing just went totally. This thing just went weird on me. It did not do the thing that it was supposed to do with the auto switch. But here, let me see if I can get that commercial up. Here we go.
Welcome to BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it. Leon here with BlackBeardLogic. Get out to my truck this morning, and this is what I was dealing with. Another beautiful morning, turn the key, and yeah, that's blue smoke. Just what I needed. Set me back 2 days. My truck is gargling gravel and coughing up a storm. But I can fix it. Here we go. We don't need that. Do without that. That's probably optional. Moving on to phase 2. Yeah. I probably should have just called Laura Auto Repair. If you got auto issues, call this guy, Doug at Laura Auto Repair. And don't be like me. Seriously, call this guy. Don't be like this guy. BlackBeardLogic.
See, that's the way it was supposed to start. But technology being technology, oh, geez. You know what I just realized? Hello, folks. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns and the 701 Network. I just realized how much gray I have in this black beard of mine and how high definition just kind of brings it out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a lot there. So I'm a little, I don't know how I feel about that. Gray hair, I guess, is a sign of wisdom, right? Am I right? Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701 Network. Running a little late. Did not get a speeding ticket, though. So, there you go. Those flock cameras haven't caught up to your boy yet. So, anyway, the big story of the week, and this is kind of an ongoing thing, and if you've been following me on social media, you already know that I'm of two minds on this whole thing. Like all of the things that I posted this week, and I've gotten tons of response, tons of interactions. It was pretty awesome, actually. I see my son running back and forth. I don't know what he's doing over there, but you'll see me do this every now and again. But anyway, like all of the things we already knew. But I'm going to show you like things that folks have been saying for some times. We're going to walk a little bit through like what happened during COVID with and it's Steve Deace is the guy I follow. I like Steve Deace and Aaron. He does a thing called While We're Away. We're gonna watch that because I want you to see all of the things that went on, and it's just a snippet. But there was so much going on during that time. And again, my mind is a lot of folks should be strung up. Tall trees, short ropes. I don't think that these folks are going to experience the justice that they should experience, for all of the things that happen. Excuse me. For all of the things that happen. We're going to go, and just so you know, you probably already heard, Fauci pled the fifth on everything, even though because he was pardoned, I think he's kind of worried about the whole auto pen thing. Because he was pardoned, he didn't want to say too much. So, but if you have a pardon, then the fifth does not apply. So they're going to hold him in contempt. I do believe that's going to happen. But outside of that, I don't know if the level of justice that is deserved is going to be the level of justice that is meted out. We're going to talk a little bit about ODNI Tulsi Gabbard's warning months ago on her way out. I haven't seen a ton about that, but I thought it'd be good to replay that, especially in light of what's going on now. We're also going to talk about Stephen A. Smith's apology to Kyrie Irving after seeing Fauci under oath. And this should have, if you are a clear-headed liberal, and I know that's an oxymoron, but if you are a clear-headed Democrat and you watch that and you didn't come away going, oh my God, this dude's a criminal, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It's like my picture. This to the what is that? The left? Yeah, to the left of me there. There I am, BlackBeardLogic, looking very masculine, and my beard and my hair is nowhere near that black and full. I mean, you could see it, but I liked what Grok did with that, so I'm gonna let it stand. But you see the obese guy standing there with his little stupid mask on, and I say I suggest extra vitamin C, D, creatine, exercise, and a carnivore. Hey, they misspell carnivore. There you go. AI is not all knowing and all smart because it misspelled carnivore. But a carnivore style diet with bone broth, it's something that I do, and I do work out. And the slovenly obese guy wearing the face mask says you're not a doctor, and then you go to the next panel, it says, well, your doctor invoked the fifth 111 times, and then you got Dr. Fauci right there behind him. And that's kind of like, if you look at my post, the liberals, the Thomas Rileys, there's a couple of other folks on there, they're all dismissing what we all know to be very clear and convincing evidence. And like, I remember back when, like Joe Rogan, he got COVID and he did a little video, and he has a regimen that's similar to mine, not exactly, but basically what it is I take supplements, I take a dose of creatine every day, I exercise, and I eat good. My diet is pretty much meat and gravy, and some grits thrown in every now and again. Well, actually, every morning, eggs. So when Joe Rogan got COVID, when he contracted COVID, it was a pretty, like, it hit him hard. Like, it hit me like for a day, and you know because I'm healthy, it was no big deal. Like, it was a big deal for that day, but like, so Joe Rogan, he kind of did this little video where he showed day one, day two, and by day three he was like 80%, and he was working out. And that's pretty much what I did. Like, by the end of the week, I was like at 90%. So, but we had the running narrative. We were being scared out of our wits over this thing. people did actually die. Like folks with comorbidities died, but I don't think they died because um, they were getting the best medical advice at the time. Because I'm going to show you. I don't know if you guys remember. What was her name? Dr. Stella Emanuel. Yeah. Uh, she had patients with comorbidities, and she treated them all, didn't lose a single one of them. Diabetes, obesity, asthma, lung problems, all of that. And she treated them with hydroxychloroquine and a couple of other things, Zitromax, with the Z-Pack, that whole thing. And when she came out and made that video, they censored her hard. You couldn't find that video anywhere because they took it down. Mainstream media smeared her as being like a snake's oil saleswoman, and you're just like, wow, this is how. This is where I talk about how dangerous government propaganda is. It is very. People died on Fauci's watch. Not just now. Like this guy was behind the whole AIDS epidemic, and more people were dying from what he was prescribing than died from HIV at the time. And we just kind of swept that under the rug. It's funny how nobody talked about that during COVID. But anyway, we're going to get to the meat of the show here. Um, and I'm just going to say, like, from the earliest days of the pandemic, Fauci presented like this confident public narrative. Like COVID-19 almost certainly spilled over naturally. I can't do his voice, but bear with me. From animals, like he helped. No, he didn't just help shape and amplify papers and statements and that treated the whole laboratory origin as highly improbable or conspiratorial. Like he was out there saying those things publicly, yet privately, his private notes and emails from that same time period showed that he was aware that the wet market there was not the clear source, and the lab scenario needed serious consideration. I would go even further because from everything that I've seen, and this goes way back to the beginning, like Fauci and his little cabal created this thing. They created it. And then they did the gain of function, so it would be, I believe that they were creating this to sell it as a bioweapon. And I believe that that bioweapon was unleashed onto the world. And it's good to live in a time where just because I said that, I won't be snatched off of all the platforms. We'll see. I mean, Facebook is kind of weird. Haven't had very many problems with YouTube. Twitter, no problems at all. But so we'll see. But that was my estimation of how this thing got leaked. And I don't know if you can see my air quotes, leaked from day one. From day one. And when you got the person in charge of the nation's infectious disease research steering public understanding so strongly in one direction, while all the evidence was either incomplete and conflicted with the narrative that he was giving us, that's a problem. I mean, why the strong push? And it's because his agency had funded the exact type of research that was now under the microscope. And if you remember, through Eco Health Alliance and the NIH, that's what it was, all that money went to the Wuhan Institute of Virology for bat coronavirus studies that included genetic manipulation. Like, they were doing that thing. And they lied about it. And they covered it up. And like there was so much going on there. Like if you guys don't remember, what was it? Ralph Barrick's laboratory at the University of North Carolina. It was the world's leading center for reverse genetics techniques on SARS-like viruses. Those methods, creating infectious clones and swapping them, like swapping spike proteins and all of that, gave scientists the ability to engineer coronaviruses with an altered property. And that's like it's like Senator Paul was saying, that is dual use technology. That's what it is. It produces a more dangerous version than you find in nature. It's unbelievable. Again, I've said this once, I'll say it a million times. We deserve clarity. I hate when I see managed narratives, and that's from both sides. Like last week, earlier this week, I kind of got into it with some folks on my side that I consider friends, conservative voices right here in North Dakota. As a matter of fact, they called me because I saw and heard what I knew to be a scripted narrative. I don't like that. I'm not that guy. I am an independent thinker. I kind of like it. Anyway, let's go. You know what? This is what we're going to do. Let's do we're going to go to commercial first. And when we come back, we'll do the while we were away. Because I just want to kind of lay that down as the foundation for everything we're going to talk about on this show. So, Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to do the While You Were Away segment. And then we're going to break that down and we're going to talk about that. So,
welcome to BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro-Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro-Second Amendment, pro-North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
So, we're going to start this segment off. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701 Network. We're going to start off with Aaron's While We Were Away. That's Steve Deace's program. And then I'm going to break down my own version of While We Were Away and kind of break down this entire net. And they did this brilliantly. So I want you guys to settle in. It's about 4 minutes long. Basically a based breakdown of that entire time. Here we go.
It's the Steve Deace Show, and here's what happened while we were away. Brought to you by Told Ya.
I am very happy to testify before any congressional oversight committee. I have nothing to hide.
Therefore, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
Dear Diary, March 22nd. Cases continue to soar. 30,000 in USA with 400 deaths. Press is going wild with me. Front page in Washington Post yesterday. An op-ed by Maureen Dowd in New York Times today about me.
Put your mask on. You gotta wear.
So, just so we're clear, do you guys remember this? Where you had this, I think, 3-year-old kid, and they were trying to force that kid to wear a face mask. A 3-year-old. I didn't want to stop it, but that should piss you off. Like, this kid, clearly, he's like, I don't want this thing on my face. What are you doing? And in this instance, this kid had more common sense than all the grown-ups around him. Because the science. Anyway, here we go. Let's finish this out.
I was simply ask you, I mean, is that true? I mean, did you literally lie to your own diary?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Dear Diary, I spoke with Bill de Blasio and convinced him, based on what I was saying publicly and my conversation.
Look at these idiotic measures right here. Like, this was a real thing. Can you guys see this? How did we allow these people to do this to our kids?
Night to close the NYC schools. He had already decided based on what I was saying on TV.
We come back and say Fauci was responsible for closing schools. I had nothing to do.
Remote students are facing higher stress, more health problems than others. 84% of fully remote students reporting things like exhaustion, headaches, and insomnia.
This pardon goes back to, and if you'll see, January the 1st of 2014. Did you talk to President Biden and ask for this pardon?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Dear Diary, big front page article about me appeared in the Washington Post. Very flattering.
The officer explains that she's being arrested. When she continues to resist, he uses his taser.
I'm sorry, but just going to stop it for 2 seconds. Had that been my wife, I don't even know if it would have had to have been Nicole. It could have been just anybody. One, I'd be there without a mask on, so they'd probably target me first. But the fact that you have grown men standing around while this idiot does this, and her only crime is she has a naked face. That's it. She's not like throwing popcorn or cursing people out or doing anything. Her crime is being there with a naked face. And I'm sorry. I would have politely handed my valuables to my wife, and me and that cop would have went around. Like, there's no way. There is absolutely no way. And I know there are folks out there that are going, oh, yeah, you wouldn't do. You don't know my history, buddy. I've done same and similar. Like, there's no way. There is zero way I would be at this event and that happened without me being right in that camera shot. And if I were with any of my friends, my like-minded friends, and trust me, all of my friends are like-minded or they wouldn't be a friend of mine, yeah, that cop would have had a very bad day and we would have all been cellies at night. Because what I'm saying to you is, I believe you should stand in the breach when things like this happen. You should also understand that you will go to jail. And you need to be okay with that. Not on my watch. Let's let this play out.
You can hear other spectators in disbelief.
This is over a mask.
Dear Diary, now we know the market was not the source. It was the amplifier.
Some animal, probably in a wet market, it is totally not surprising that you're seeing the facilitation of this jump from the animal species to the human.
What day of the week is it today?
On the divisive council.
Dear Diary, my national and international fame is explosive and really unimaginable.
What color tie are you wearing?
I respectfully decline to answer.
Dear Diary, it is not hyperbole to say that today I am the most famous and talked about person in the country and one of the most recognizable persons in the world.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
Based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Dear Diary, more drama with regard to the CDC.
This is classic beta male. If you guys are watching this, I remember, like, I never watched this guy, but I remember seeing these clips. You cannot be any more an emasculated beta male than this. Like, this is just ridiculous right here.
We had gotten them pulled back from making the statement that the vaccines were not effective at all in preventing infection and transmission.
It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, love this black dude. This black dude stood on business and he was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. This doesn't, and say what you want about the black community. Like, we've always been a little hesitant. Like, my mom was an anti-vaxxer before I knew what an anti-vaxxer was. So, there you go.
It used to take years. Dear Diary, I got a call from the radiologist at Sibley Hospital where I had gotten the chest CT in the morning. The only definite thing on the film was the pulmonary infarct.
You know how many years we're investing?
So, just so we're clear, 5 months after this idiot, Dr. Fauci publicly took his shot, he had a heart attack. Bet you didn't know that.
In this approach, about 20 years of science.
Were you carefully monitoring the safety surveillance systems like VAERS and VSafe that literally were deluged?
Can you see the drug adverse event comparison? To ivermectin, 5,000 adverse events. Hydroxychloroquine, 37,000. Flu vaccine, you jump up to 250,000. Then you got dexamethasone. It's about 143,000. Tylenol is 184,000. So there are more adverse events and deaths by Tylenol than by ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine combined times 3. Think about that. Not to mention remdesivir. Look at that. And this is the big one that they were pushing. Look at remdesivir. The adverse events, you got 10,000. The deaths, 2,000. And look at ivermectin. 5,000 adverse events, and this is worldwide, and deaths at 518. Now look at the COVID vaccine. The thing that they peddled. 1.6 million adverse events. I'm going to let this play.
with complaints?
I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Dear Diary, 2 authors named Steve Deace and Todd Erzin wrote a book about me entitled Faucian Bargain, the most powerful and dangerous bureaucrat in American history. It is a cheap paperback of 179 pages, which I will not even read, but it contains the same sort of nonsense that the other conspiracy theorists have been saying about me.
Use lockdowns to get people vaccinated. A lot of what you're seeing as attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on
the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
And that's what happened while we...
Oh, wow. Like, I can't. This, like, it took a lot for me to just, and you saw I couldn't do it. Just to sit through that takes a lot out of a guy. I mean, while we were told to stay home and to trust the experts, to mask the kids, close the schools, silence the question, something fundamental happened. Something fundamental in this country shifted. I mean, I remember they told us that the science was settled, that the scent was dangerous, that one man in a suit elevated to near sainthood on magazine covers, late night stages, that dude held the pure light of truth. I mean, again, we watched that idiot choreograph celebrations of the shot. Cartoon syringes dancing in relentless pressure to comply. We saw kids forced to play instruments through fabric. Faces half hidden, as if the music itself had become a threat. And don't get me started on the hospital rooms that were doing the stupid TikTok dances. Like, nothing infuriates me more than that. One of the reasons why my dad is here with us is because I don't trust those places. A bunch of chuckle nuts that would do that, I don't trust them with my father. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do it. That mom tased at her football game for refusing to wear a cloth mask. I was approached maybe twice. Once in East Grand Forks for not wearing a mask in an establishment. I never did. I never did. And my job back then was with UPS. And I would go into these facilities and I'd see these drivers and these people with their mask on. You never saw me on a job with a mask on. It was an idiotic thing. We all knew it was an idiotic thing, and yet I think it was a test. They wanted to see if you would do something that you knew to be an idiotic thing. I saw people with face gaiters on, and that was acceptable. Are you effing kidding me? Dude. But anyway, we move past that. We finally get the hearings. When the questions about origins and efficacy and mandates and the true costs could no longer be entirely buried, the man, the myth, the legend, who had spoken with such certainty, he invoked the fifth? Are you kidding me? This dude is the science. He told us he was the science. We were assured that he was the science. Why would the science need to plead the fifth? That's what I need to get through my head. I mean, look at the numbers once that at one point they just kind of shrugged off. And Steve Deace had them in there, and I stopped it, and I kind of broke them down a little bit. But adverse event reports stacked higher for COVID, well, for the COVID shot, than for older, more familiar drugs like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, by orders of magnitudes higher. Deaths, hospitalizations, injuries logged in systems that were supposed to catch these signs early. Alternative treatments were dismissed, ridiculed, and even suppressed, while only one preferred path was elevated without room for debate. The same voices that demanded an absolute trust later shrugged at all the collateral damage that died suddenly. In my humble opinion, the bargain was struck. Authority was concentrated. Compliance was moralized. Scrutiny was pathologized. And when the accounting arrived, the response was silence under constitutional protection rather than transparent answers. This was never only about a virus. It's about what happens when fear meets power. When media and institutions amplify a single narrative, and when ordinary people are told that their doubts, those are the real danger. The footage remains. You can see it. The testimony remains. You can pull it up. The charts remain. You can dig into that data. The images of enforced masks on children and the celebration of a medical product that carried real risk, that's what remains. The record is public, guys. The questions have not disappeared simply because the urgency has. If science is to mean anything more than institutional decree, it must withstand examination without reaching for the fifth. That's the ledger we inherited while we were told to look away. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns of the 701. When we come back, we're going to unpack Tulsi Gabbard a couple months ago. Yeah. We're going to look at that. Be right back right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from BlackBeardLogic on the Guns of the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
I am Leon Francis, and this is BlackBeardLogic. on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Welcome back. Leon Francis, Guns and the 701 Network. Glad you guys are tuned in. I want to go to Tulsi Gabbard now. See if you guys remember this.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency.
To be clear, I do not believe that this was unintentional, but let's go.
Mandate. Today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when, under oath, he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins. Once again, revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth. Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence community enabled him to assume three key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded using taxpayer dollars, all of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions. Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. Yep. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying that he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID. Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony.
Now, that right there is why he begged, borrowed, and stole in order to get that part. Because his public testimony was in direct contradiction. And the reason the powers that be gave him that last-minute pardon that went, I don't know, all the way back to 2014, I think it was because I believe right now today that was a partnership. They needed the mail-in votes. They needed it. And the way to get that was global lockdown. That's how you would get that. I will believe that to my last breath, that this was all orchestrated by the Uniparty and the global elites that could not fathom a Donald Trump. They couldn't fathom another term of Donald Trump, which is why, despite some of my disagreements with Donald Trump, I believe that, especially during that time, there was no one else. They fought hard. They shut down the world to stop this guy. And that's not nothing, in my humble opinion. I'm going to let this play.
Statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not. The message was clear: go along or be punished. Senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized self-serving leaders like Dr. Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
Now, I wanted to play that because I want you guys to understand, Tulsi Gabbard is not a rah-rah MAGA conservative. She's not. If I had to break down her political ideology, it would be more libertarian, blue dog Democrat with some maha thrown in. That's how I would describe her. So to hear her on her last day as ODNI break this down, and you'll notice that they memory hold this pretty quick, meaning there's some meat on that bone. And given that we know what she laid out there, Fauci's performance before the Senate wasn't just disappointing. To me, it was sickening. That smug arrogance, zero remorse, zero accountability. Sitting there, refusing to answer a single substantive question, invoking the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times, and yet you still got liberals out here shilling for him. That's not the behavior of a public servant who has nothing to hide. That's the behavior of someone who knows the record will not survive open scrutiny. And I got news for you. I think that the powers that be, and that's Republican and Democrat and global, I think that Fauci is secure. I believe that they would take him out before he will ever face any real scrutiny or justice. There's no way they're going to let that dude, because he knows. And I think he knows that he's protected. Tulsi Gabbard, right there, already laid out the core facts with all the declassified documents. American taxpayer dollars through NIH grants and EcoHealth Alliance funded. Let me say that again. They funded the coronavirus research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Again, and I've said this before, that Chinese guy that they murked, that came out at the beginning of this thing and said, wait, this isn't our research, this is America. And they murked that dude. They black holed, like I can't for the life of me remember that general's name. And they so propagandized China, they're still doing it, that we were all just supposed to hate China. I remember that guy standing at that podium, sweat beading off of him. And I think he died from the coronavirus. But he said this wasn't ours. This was America's. And he was right. It was ours. We did this. Dr. Fauci, the NIH, EcoHealth Alliance, they did this. It was them at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. That research involved collecting and manipulating bat coronaviruses of the exact type that caused the global pandemic. I don't know how clearer I can say that. That's what happened. It wasn't China. It was us. Fauci and his people caused this global pandemic. They did it, not China. Whether you call it gain of function or not, and I know he likes to throw those word games around, the money went there from us. The experiments happened there. The first known cases happened there. And even more damaging, those same documents show Fauci and his circle, they weren't like passive observers. They actively engaged with the intelligence community as assessments of the virus's origin. And all of our early concerns about a possible lab leak incident were sidelined. They were censored in favor of the natural origin narrative, even though there was zero evidence to corroborate that. All of the evidence was against that. It's like Jon Stewart said. So we have a Wuhan virus. They call it the Wu flu or whatever. And there's a Wuhan Institute of Virology right there. It's like if there was and I'm paraphrasing this, if there was a deluge of chocolatey goodness that overtook a town in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we wouldn't say China. You know, we'd be looking right there. We were told that the lab leak theory was a conspiracy. The science was settled. Now we know, without a shadow of a doubt, that none of that was true. Tulsi Gabbard is right. We paid for that research. We did. I did. You did. We paid the price in lives, livelihoods, lost years, tax money. And we're still denied a full accounting. It's like I said, my mom passed 2 years ago from a turbo virus because the job she worked forced her basically to get a vaccine. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I want people held accountable. And I don't think we ever will be. I don't think that the people that did this to us are going to be held accountable. I don't. It's like the Epstein thing. Nope. The peasants and the plebs, they don't get to hold the elite's feet to the fire. Dan, you're right. Don't get me started, dude. Coach, there's the catchphrase. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the labs in Ukraine. Don't get me started on that. Like, there is very little that comes out of our government, even with Trump at the top, that I believe. We're constantly being lied to. My own party and their talking heads, their controlled opposition. Like I said last week, they're running a narrative. And we stay in line like good little sheep. Can't vote for the Democrats. They're crazy. They are crazy. Too late. You did. Yeah, I see that, Coach. But I'll mention that Ukraine thing. Just in case you didn't know, we had like 27 labs there that Russia was trying to get to while we were being fed a stupid, backwards, bullshit narrative about, I'm sorry. We were being fed this narrative that Russia was kicking babies and slapping grandmas and all, and Ukraine was this pristine virgin just trying to live her life. And then Russia. And our hatred of Russia was supposed to be a mask, be a veil against the crap that was going on there and the actual historical thing that was going on there. And I don't talk about that enough. And I don't know why. But like all of this information that I had and have on, like, the coronavirus and mask and all of the data centers and all of, I know the same and similar things about what happened in Ukraine. Like, why don't we think that the fact that on video, Biden openly coerced the Ukrainian government to stop investigating Burisma, proudly says this on video, national media. Nothing happened. But they impeached Trump when he goes, hey, wait a minute, we need to look into this. Impeach? Like, are you kidding me right now? The two-party system is the illusion of a choice. 100%. I wasn't taking the show there. But the comments are coming in. Dude, you don't want to get me started. I could go all day. Like, I could start and we'd be here for 5 hours. And I'd share my screen and just pull up data. And you guys will walk away with Gadsden flags and Betsy Ross firearms. Because I got to tell you, one of the reasons why I'm out in the middle of nowhere, because I see it. I have seen it. Been seeing it. Is why you catch me on one of my off days and Republicans get no cover, dude. No cover. Because I understand the play. Yep, Justin. Machiavelli, you kind of misspelled that, but I got you. I got you, brother. I understand exactly what you're talking about. We're being conned, have been, for a very long time. Everything's a con. Nothing is what it seems to be. And until we get folks, and I know people don't like Ron DeSantis, but one of the reasons why I liked Ron DeSantis was he was coming out during all the craziness. And I should have pulled some video for this, but I didn't. He was coming out during all the craziness, and you'd have all these little teeny boppers in their mask, and he'd just come right out and go, dude, you guys don't have to wear this. It's stupid. It's ineffective. Wear them if you want to, but understand that this is asinine. I remember that his chief medical officer in Florida was talking about the idiocy of what we were doing way back then when it was happening. It's one of the reasons why Donald Trump didn't like him, because he saw him as someone that was retarding the progress of what he thought was his, warp speed rollout and all of that stuff. And I get it. Trump is brilliant in a business sense. Politically, they ran circles around him. They're still running circles around him. And I'm sorry if I'm losing people. I would vote for Donald Trump again in a heartbeat over all of the other folks, except for maybe DeSantis, because I think he was the only one with the balls, and the fact that they tried to take him out says a lot. Says a lot. If you keep one group riled up and fighting, the other group can keep you can keep them distracted. 100%, Justin. And we don't talk about this enough. Again, last week, I'm on air because my side is spouting a BS narrative and using China as the boogeyman. I don't cotton to that. I'm sorry. And I'll call you out for it on any platform that I got, including your own, which is what I did. You don't get to gaslight me. We're going to talk about gaslighting later on with Perry's perspective. But you don't get to gaslight me and me sit back and be quiet about it. No, you're going to get an earful because I got something to say. Let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. And I'll put my knowledge on systems and databases and things of that nature against anybody in the local conservative media. Anybody. And I'll beat their brains in with it. I'll run circles around them with it. Because this is my world. It's not yours. You understand the money that those advertisers are bringing in. That's what you understand. You don't understand like I understand. And if you have me on, be ready for it. And that's what happened. I ended up talking the entire time with no pushback. Because I don't do narratives. I think. And I'm wrong sometimes. But I think. It's here. It's not your BS propaganda. I'm not a sheep. I'm a sheepdog. And most of my friends are the same way. It's the reason why out of all my friends, none of us are 100% on 100% of things. And that's the way it should be. There should be pushback. And you should welcome that. It means you're not a sheep. It means you're not easily led. It means you don't have a septum ring in your nose to be pulled around by the spirit of the age. That's what that means. You're right, Axe. I do have a microphone. Hegelian dialectic, 100%, dude. 100%. Anyway, I'm going to calm down a bit when we come back from this break, I seriously, dude, I am way too hype right now. I'm liable to say some things that I'm not going to walk back, but they might make my social life a little more difficult if I had a social life that I gave a crap about. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701 Network. We'll be right back right after this break. Let's see. What am I going to do here? What am I doing? Nope. And let's do that one. Boom.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved. located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go.
There were others.
Testing. 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 Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. I don't know. So I'm just going to go on. Some people say that they can hear me. Some folks say they can't. I'm good now. Now we can. Okay, good deal. I was going to go through the comments, but I've already lost a bunch of time now. So I'm going to just kind of move on. Thanks, guys. Thanks for helping a brother out there. I needed to cool off a little bit anyway. Good deal, Lynette, Justin, Perry. Perry, I got something for you. At the back end of the show, we're gonna kind of break down your perspective. I thought it was spot on. Now I'm kind of running a little behind, so I'm just gonna get to this Stephen A. Smith clip. I want you to listen to it, and then I'm gonna kind of break it down. Like Stephen, this guy, I go back and forth. I see him though as a guy who, without his ideological spin, who kind of has his own mind and thinks outside of the narrative. Now, like he never did. Like when we play this, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like when we needed strong voices like his, he went along with the narrative. I'm glad that, like, in hindsight, he's apologizing and all of that in hindsight. But when we needed strong, influential voices, they were all silent. And as you can see, the people with the most to lose were the most used. But there were a handful of actual men with gravitas that stood up to the narrative. Here we go. We're going to play Steven here.
Had the courage to say, bump that.
I'm going to start it over.
There were others who had the courage to say, bump that. And one of those people at the forefront was Kyrie Irving. I bring his name up because I had my issues with him from a leadership standpoint. Never as a player, because he's sensational. But with him, in terms of leadership. And I didn't look at it as being courageous. I looked at it as being selfish. And I watched Dr. Fauci on Capitol Hill yesterday. And the person I thought about most was Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving stood out in my mind because of the heat that he was taking. And how folks were piling on because that was just the latest transgression in their eyes that he was committing and subjecting the public to. He refused the vaccine. New York City's mandate made him ineligible for home games. And he linked his stance to people losing jobs over vaccine mandates. In my opinion, particularly hindsight-wise, it didn't make him stubborn or selfish. It made him brave for his willingness to stand up and say, nah, I'm not doing that. It's just a time for reflection to look at things differently.
No crap, Sherlock, but you're a... He's $1 short and an hour and a half past late. You know, and again, I applaud him. I mean, he saw Fauci on the stand and he was like, same as any sane person, like, what the hell is going on here type deal. And I want to be clear. He went after Kyrie hard. Like, I remember, I had to stop listening to him because that's all he did. All he did. Like, everybody was on this COVID bandwagon. And you got to understand, Kyrie didn't just sit out a few games. He made one of the most expensive personal stands any athlete has ever taken. In that 2021 to 22 season, New York City required the COVID vaccine for arena access. Kyrie refused that. And he believed that it was his right to decide what went into his body. You know, my body, my right, that sort of thing. That decision cost him every single home game with the Brooklyn Nets. He forfeited roughly $11.5 million in game checks in that year alone. And on top of that, he walked away from a $100 million contract extension. So in total, more than $100 million left on the table because he would not comply. And you see the Johnny-come-latelys with the "I will not comply" and blah blah blah. No, these are people, and there's a couple more. I'm gonna briefly touch on them too. There were some folks that stood in the breach and said, "No, I'm not going to comply," when it was actually uncomfortable to not comply. Like, I didn't comply, but it's because I'm ornery. You know, I have a fear of needles. I don't put any type of vaccine in my body. I just don't. I'd rather I don't trust the medical. I'm one of those guys. I'm a Southern black curmudgeon. I'm salty. That's me. These guys had actual millions of dollars on the line, and they didn't comply. Me, I just look at a thing and I go, yeah, I'm not doing that. I mean, I also knew that, you know, UPS could not replace me easily. Like, I had the whole region. I was a network administrator for. So I had that in my back pocket. But even if I didn't, like, I'm not doing that. Hard no. And at the time, people like Stephen A. Smith was calling folks like Kyrie Irving selfish. He said he's putting himself above the team and the fans. Yeah, I don't know if I was offered $100 million, you know, I might take it because I know my wife and my kid and my dad would be on Easy Street, and you know I'd be strumming harps and you know doing all that good stuff. You know I wouldn't care. $100 million. Even knowing what I know right now, if they offered me that, and I know all of the data and all of the things, $100 million would set my wife and kid and my dad up. I'd do it. I mean, who needs a curmudgeon-y old salty Southern dude walking around mumbling to himself and yelling about the man and big government and Gadsden flags? Like, who needs all of that crap? They can they can live life on Easy Street. Nick's ear will get a break every now and again, you know? So anyway, let me get back to it. So you got Steven here. Years later, in hindsight, after watching Dr. Fauci testify on Capitol Hill, he changed his mind. He said the person he thought about most was Kyrie. And again, if you remember that time, Kyrie Irving lived rent-free in Stephen A. Smith's head. Like, it was that bad. It's like the WNBA with what's his name? Somebody help me out here. The guy on the Blaze, black guy. He was Kansas City. What is his name? I'll think of it in a minute here. But it's like the WNBA and that guy. Rent free. Like, every episode he was talking about it. And now, what looked like stubbornness to him, he's admitting that it looked different in hindsight. Didn't make him stubborn or selfish. It made him brave. And he pointed to the heat that Kyrie took and the principle he defended, even when it cost him everything. And Kyrie wasn't the only athlete who faced consequences for having that same stance. The scale of his sacrifice is what stands out. Because if you remember Andrew Wiggins of the Golden State Warriors, he faced a nearly identical situation under San Francisco's mandate. He risked losing more than half of his $31 million salary if he missed the home games. Jason Whitlock, you're right, Perry. Spot on as always. Jason Whitlock, like the WNBA lives rent free, and Angel Reese, like I don't think that there's been an episode of Whitlock's where he does not mention the WNBA and or Angel Reese. Like not a single thing. And he hates the WNBA, but he's always talking about it. But anyway, Wiggins, he eventually got the vaccine. And what he said later was that the only real options were to get the shot or forfeit all that money. He chose to play. What is the most sad about this is it took to this week, and not looking into it over this past year. What is wrong with people? Yeah, you're right. But there's been people, like I have been one of those people that have been talking about it since the thing, since it happened. Steve Deace is another. That's one of the reasons why I listen to it. One of the reasons why I stopped listening to Ben Shapiro is because he was so wishy-washy on it. And I couldn't, like, when the thing is hard, I'm looking for hard men who stand in the breach and say, yeah, I'm not going to do this. To me, that's a thought leader. What? Caitlin Clark. Yeah, you're right. Eli with the save. He said, Caitlin Clark. Yeah, you're right. So let me get through this list. Novak, I can't pronounce that dude's last name. He took a different path. He's a tennis guy. He refused the vaccine. He was deported from Australia. He missed the entire 2022 Australian Open. He publicly said he was willing to miss all the majors, including the French, rather than comply, calling it the price I'm willing to pay. That cost him millions in prize money. It cost him ranking points. It cost him a clear shot at cementing his place as the greatest of all time, just in pure numbers. And his stance was principle over titles. And then you had the folks in the NFL. Unvaccinated players face stricter protocols. Like if you remember Cole Beasley of the Buffalo Bills, he racked up $100,000 in cumulative fines for the protocol violations of his. And we all remember Aaron Rodgers. He dealt with all those fines, missed time after contracting COVID, and he lost sponsorship. They didn't, like, the thing that humans have known since the beginning of human thought is natural immunity is the best. And we allowed that little worm, that rat, that weasel, Fauci, to make us stop using our critical thinking skills and bow to the propaganda. That, to me, is scary. And that was a test. Much like the test that we're going through with the flock cameras and the Orwellian surveillance thing that they've been rolling out for multiple of years. And again, with the flock thing, and 2 seconds on this, I remember me and Nicole in Kansas City. So this was 20-some years ago, maybe. Because we were living in Kansas City. And I remember being on Darla J's show talking about, because the KCPD were going to sit and have these ALPRs, these automatic license plate readers, car mounted. And they were just going to sit there, and every car that went by, they could gather the license plate of dozens and dozens of cars. They didn't even have to be sitting still, just driving by. And they sold it as being able to crack down on folks that had suspended licenses, or like all of the normal talking points. And I was on Darla J's, I forget, KMBZ. That's what it was, the station there. And I was saying what I'm saying right now. That is unconstitutional. When everybody else was saying, oh, it's fine, I was saying Fourth Amendment violations way back then. I don't change. And I like people that have that type of integrity, because we are right now being propagandized with the data centers and the flock cameras and oh, it's China. We got to beat China. That's what they're telling you. Oh, what are you, Chinese? Well, you getting paid by Qi? You're getting paid in yen? That's what they're saying. Even right here in North Dakota, on our airwaves, our conservative airwaves, that's what they're telling you. Oh, the guy that's funding this is a Chinese operative out of Shanghai. You know, Shanghai is in China. You know, that's what they're telling us right now. We're supposed to go, oh, my bad. Fourth Amendment. What the hell is that? We got to beat China. We're smarter than this. That's what I'm saying. Jonathan Isaac of the Orlando Magic, he was vocal about remaining unvaccinated on principle. Florida had no arena mandate, so he never faced the same paycheck deductions. But what sets Kyrie apart is he held the line for an entire season of home games. He lost out on massive contract opportunities. So whether you agreed with his decision or not, the financial weight of what he gave up for his integrity, that should count for something. That's hard to ignore. He put principle ahead of a fortune. And Stephen A. Smith's late acknowledgement of bravery, alongside the quieter examples of Wiggins, Dojovic, and others. Hey, I said it. I probably butchered it, but shows how this conversation has shifted now. And that shift is a good thing, because we're about to get propagandized hard. Hard. I mean, they had you throwing face diapers over your 3-year-old. They had you telling on your neighbors when they were going to the beach or having a get-together. They had you putting face masks on when you went to the store. Standing 6 feet, which has no basis in science or medicine. They had you believing that you are endangering your grandma if you don't wear a neck gaiter. Come on. I saw people down Broadway in Fargo smoking vape pens through their neck gaiters. What are we doing? Like, dude, what are we doing? Anyway, last segment of the show. We're going to come back. Oh, no. I want to do this before we go to break. Do you remember Dr. Stella Emanuel? I wanted to make sure I put this one in. Here we go. Do you remember what they did to this lady?
To these medications. I'm here because I have personally treated over 350 patients with COVID. Patients that have diabetes, patients that have high blood pressure, patients that have asthma, old people. I think my oldest patient is 92, 87-year-olds. And the result has been the same. I put them on hydroxychloroquine, I put them on zinc, I put them on Zitromax, and they are all well. For the past few months, I've taken care of over 350 patients. We've not lost one. Not a diabetic, not a somebody with high blood pressure, not somebody with asthma, not an old person. We've not lost one patient. And on top of that, I've put myself, my staff, and many doctors that I know on hydroxychloroquine for prevention, because by the very mechanism of action, it works early and as a prophylaxis. We see patients, 10 to 15 COVID patients every day. We get used to this.
Now, I don't want you to forget about what they did to Dr. Stella, because I remember the mainstream media calling her a reptile handler, a voodoo practicer. If you don't remember, in 2020, she was a frontline physician, and she stood before the cameras and reported that what she was seeing in her own clinic. More than 350 COVID patients. And mind you, can you see my air? Hang on. Dr. Fauci, these are air quotes here, guys. Dr. Fauci never saw a single patient. Never saw a single patient. And at this time, at the time of that taping, she had seen more than 350 COVID patients, and she had treated them with hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and azithromycin, and she didn't have a single death, not one death. Real results from an actual doctor actually treating people. And for speaking that truth, all of the platforms locked her out. They labeled her misinformation. They shut her down. And this is the real danger of censoring dissenting voices. When authorities and tech companies decide which observations are allowed, the science stops being about search for the truth. It becomes enforced dogma, and a lot of people get rich. All of the early signals, they all get buried. Honest debate dies. Patients lose options they might have needed to survive. I remember when it was all the rage for the respirators. And I remember when the frontline doctors were saying, don't do that. You were basically cooking them from the inside out. But then you never heard anything else. Even though they shut those voices down, they were killing people with the respirators. The public, when this happens, is left with only the approved narrative. And even when that story changes, it's too late. In my humble opinion, free inquiry is not a luxury. It is the only reliable protection we have against costly mistakes like what happened here. And when you silence doctors who report what they see in real patients, that doesn't keep us safe. It keeps everybody at greater risk. And we cannot ever accept that again. Question everybody. Perry, Rob loved his respirator because he wasn't using it right, and I'm not going to say anything else about that. He's a little soy boy, a little fancy man, and I'm done with that conversation. Nicole F., I'm going to keep her anonymity, even though I could clearly see who that is. She says, I remember nurses and medical professionals that I knew well saying that people were just overreacting and wearing a mask cannot protect them against an airborne virus. 100%. Just 2 weeks later, the story flipped, and those same nurses and medical professionals were saying the exact opposite. And now it was a necessity and mandatory for all the staff and the patients to wear masks. Honestly, how quickly people forget. Yeah, I remember that. And I know that Nicole worked in a medical facility. I'm not going to say their name. And I also know that she was ostracized and fired because she wouldn't do a thing. And I'm going to leave that at that. Justin says the dumbest thing was seeing people wear a mask while alone in there. Yet I still see that, and I want to stop my car and, well, no. Nanny State created a bunch of pansies. Yeah, these comments are awesome, guys. I love it. So we're going to go to break, and I'm going to hit Perry's perspective. Like, Perry and I, we do the Due North Political podcast every other Tuesday. And he also has a show, Open Range, on Beck TV. So you guys should really check it out. And Perry is, like, I've known Perry for a very, very long time. He doesn't change. He's as ornery and stubborn as I am. One of the few folks that I met during the whole Tea Party days that did not change with the wind. And I love his perspective on a host of things, not just this one. Like, if you know Perry, he's like me. The folks that know me know that if they bring up a certain thing, they're going to get a good talking to for a good 2 hours. It's a tick that I have, and Perry has that same God-given tick. So we're going to dig into Perry's perspective on the other side of this break.
Okay, let's go.
I am Leon Francis of BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Anvil Brand LLC, raising and training tomorrow's barrel horses right out of Bismarck, North Dakota. Tracy and her family are great American patriots who not only support the Second Amendment, but they also promoted what you're looking for, top quality barrel horses. Go ahead and give Tracy a call at 701-471-6629 and tell them Guns and 701.com sent you. That's Anvil Brand LLC out of Bismarck, North Dakota.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Visit HortonLasercraft.com today and start crafting your perfect gift. For more info, email them at HortonLasercraft@yahoo.com or call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
T-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, pink up my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Perry.
No, you started too quick. What are you doing? So, Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns and the 701 Network. This is the last segment, and I'm gonna unpack Perry's perspective, and I'm gonna wait. I want to see what he thinks about my analysis of his analysis. So we're gonna do this, and here we go.
Perry's perspective.
Welcome to the last segment of tonight's show. I'm Perry Schumacher, and I usually end the show, at least for the last several months, with Perry's perspective. Last week, I mentioned P.T. Barnum's line that a sucker is born every minute. The flip side is that millions of Americans don't take kindly to being played for fools. Gaslighting does not go just in one direction. It works like a two-sided coin. One side covers up the crime, and just as upsetting, the other side pretends to want to fix it. In both cases, the intellectually honest among us, who I include me and Mike, end up getting played for suckers. Right now, that coin is being flipped at the American public from every direction. Corruption runs through every level of government, federal, state, and local, and the gaslighting meant to hide it has become constant and overwhelming. It's pushed by the politicians we elect, by those we count on to expose the wrongdoing, and by the institutions we're told will finally hold people accountable. Newsrooms of every size play an integral part. We're living through a systemic deception on a nuclear scale. At the state level, Minnesota and California stand out. Stories of fraud are out in the open for anyone willing to look. So is the blatant unwillingness to actually stop it. At the federal level, especially since President Trump won in 2016, the interference has been exposed over and over. Federal agencies worked to keep critical information from reaching him, set him up, and aided his opponents. Intelligence was slow-walked or buried. It is deliberate interference of a duly elected presidency, of which much has been documented, with even more still buried, still awaiting sunlight. This past week, we learned more. President Trump declassified information showing that Chinese actors compromised or acquired 220 million American voter registration records, names, addresses, and party affiliations from multiple states. The largest known breach in U.S. election data history. This should have been a five-alarm fire, national security story. Instead, NBC, ABC, and CBS refused to cover his speech. Those same networks spent years aggressively pushing the Russian collusion narrative, the COVID origins cover-up, and the claim of 51 intelligence officials that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. Selected coverage, selected outrage, but constant gaslighting in real time. We were told by the networks there was nothing to see. 220 million voter records taken by a foreign adversary with skin in the game, but our elections are supposedly fine. Corruption and fraud exist everywhere we look, except in elections. They're as secure as Fort Knox. As Merle Haggard said, you're walking on the fighting side of me with this continual insulting of my intelligence. When corruption and fraud get in the water table, it gets into everything, including elections. Only a fool would think elections are the only thing that remain untouched. When citizens challenge voter fraud and irregularities in court before an election, the judge says you don't have standing. After the election, they say it's too late. Which one is it? Flip a coin. If full truth ever comes out, the entire free and fair election house of cards collapses. That's why the gaslighting never stops. 81 million votes? Yeah, sure. A president can give a primetime address about massive Chinese election influence, and a week later, it's like it never happened. It is a complete dog and pony show. He could just have well been talking into the wind. Yada, yada, yada. Talk, talk, talk. So what? Any action of consequence is a pipe dream. Each side of the coin gets a speech, but the same people stay protected and nothing fundamentally changes. The only thing we can count on is that status quo will continue. Gaslighting injected straight into our veins. The pilot light stays lit, awaiting the next sucker. Those of us who see the game being played know the Chinese didn't acquire those 220 million records just to send birthday cards. Flip the gaslight coin, heads or tails, either way we lose. Evidence be damned.
Well, I gotta say, when he's right, dude. And he's right. We've had this conversation, and I agree. A sucker is born every minute. And the folks that are running this country, the Uniparty, they decided that number is the entire adult population of the United States of America. Like, Perry's right. Gaslighting isn't some one-way street where the powerful lie to you and then go home. It's a two-sided coin. One side covers up the crime. The other side pretends it desperately wants to fix it. both sides require you to sit there like an idiot and nod along while they insult your intelligence in real time, which is one of the reasons why I don't hold out a lot of hope for these trials. I mean, what do these guys actually do? When have they ever tied teeth to something big? Well, to anything, actually, that was not to the detriment of the American people. Perry is right. Corruption is not a bug in the system. It's the system. Federal, state, local. He mentioned Minnesota and California. The fraud stories sitting out there in the open for anyone with eyes and a functioning dula oblongata. Is that right? I'm not a medical guy, so like we've talked about millions of dollars in duffel bags going through the Minneapolis airport. Let me get caught with $10,000 in a duffel bag in the trunk of my truck. You'll never hear the end of it. Yet these people were allowed to do that. Again, corruption is not the bug. It's the system. I mean, we've watched agencies slow walk and bury and actively interfere with Donald Trump. We saw that intelligence that should have reached him was filtered or disappeared completely. That's not conspiracy theory. That happened. That's documented. And what he said about Donald Trump, which should have been like worldwide news, he declassified that information showing Chinese actors who apparently just wanted to get, I don't know, cooking recipes from the 220 million American voters. They just wanted to call you up and go, hey, how's the weather? You know, that's not a big deal. The major news networks, they couldn't be bothered. They're like, oh, it's just misinformation. Don't. That's because it challenged the openly dishonest narrative that we have had the freest and fairest elections. Do you believe that? Just tell me that. Do you believe that? Am I spitting in the wind here? Do you believe that Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama, the first African American president in history? If you believe that, sign off right now. We can't have a conversation. Like we can't do it. I can't. It boggles my. I'm happy whenever I hear people like Perry just kind of go. And the reason I like that, because I know that common sense isn't just dead. Do you guys believe the 51, where's my camera? 51 intelligence officials who told you Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation? Do you believe that? Do you remember one of my first Facebook strikes from that era was simply posting pictures from that laptop, and it was labeled disinformation. Pulled down immediately. Selective coverage, like Perry said. Selective outrage, like he said. Constant gaslighting, like he said. We're always told, hey, there's nothing to see here. You know, like with the Chinese thing, 220 million records in the hands of a foreign adversary. Yeah. No, our elections are fine. They're pristine. They're Fort Knox level, secure institution there in a country where everything else is rotten to the core. Like only a fool would believe that. And then when we tried to challenge the irregularities in court, like Perry said, we were told that we lacked standing. And then after, well, it's too late now. Wait, whoa. Which one of those is it now? That's, to me, it's unconscionable. I love this country. Anyone that knows me knows that I love this country. I hate the cabal that's running it into the ground. When I think about the amount of American treasure, of American blood that has been mismanaged by the idiots, we are told we have a choice at the ballot box to send. Yet it's still all corrupt. The folks that are closest to the people don't even get a voice. Again, North Dakota elections, anyone. North Dakota primaries. Just, dude, Perry's right. It pisses me off. It gets my blood pressure up, but he's right. His perspective is spot on. He's not wrong. He's describing reality. And reality doesn't really care about your preferred narrative, in my humble opinion. You guys should really check out Perry Schumacher, Open Range. I can't remember the date, but I know that for Due North Political Podcast, we do that every other Tuesday. So this Tuesday, no, but the following Tuesday, I think we're on because we just wrapped one up. I'm going to be chopping up clips from that. It was a really good show, really funny. Justin, I think he had the bit of the night. It was pretty cool, pretty awesome. Yep. Oh, Justin, I was getting put in FaceTube jail for posting screenshots that I took on it. Yeah. All of that. Anyway, I'm getting right up to that 2-hour mark, so I want to leave you guys with basically this is going to be funny because I can't leave the show with all piss and vinegar. I can't do that. I love you guys too much for that. So what I'm going to do is good night, God bless, Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701 Network. Stay tuned to all of my social media because I'm going to be chopping up a bunch of different videos. I'm going to be trying out new content. Follow Due North Political Podcast. Perry is building a little network over there, so they have like sports and different things over there. I like this local thing. I love the Guns in the 701 because you got a bunch of local guys. We're talking about things from like our perspective locally. Like I'm not a guy from Maine talking about, save the whale, save that snail. I'm not that guy. I've said this before. I'm a coon ass from Louisiana who relocated to North Dakota, found a home here, love it here, and I'm talking from my experience as a black guy born and raised in Louisiana, Catahoula Parish, transplant to North Dakota, conservative, have been for a very long time, Christian conservative. That's my worldview, and that's what I give you guys. And then you have Clay, and then we had Jamie, who was a really good friend of mine. Love that dude. That dude is, I've told him this before. He's the most northern boy I've ever met. He's awesome, dude. But anyway, so I love it when folks like Clay and folks like Perry put together these networks of local folks who all have something to say. Like again, drop a topic, I could go for 2 hours. Perry's the same way. Clay's the same way. Don't get like you get somebody like Clay. He's one of those data guys. He can pull the statutes like out of thin air and on guns and Second Amendment issue, hunting, all of that stuff, top tier. Top tier. Then we got David, and he's the shooting expert. Like he does the long range shooting competition, 1,000 yards, hold my beer, type guy. I love that. And then on Perry's side, he's got those two sports guys. I cannot remember the name of their show, but they're entertaining as all get out. I love watching them. And then you have Due North Political Podcast, and then you have Open Range on Beck, and all of that. I love all of that. So if you see me on my social media, share something, and I would highly encourage, this is something, again, something that Perry put in my noodle. We all like things. Like we go on social media and we like them. I like the likes, but I love the shares. So if you see my content, if you see any of this content, share it so other people see it and we get the word out. We're not all automatons. And I said this on Tuesday's show, even if you don't agree, put your spin on top of it. Say, and I do this all the time with Inforum and KVLY, WDAY, AM 1100. I'll post a clip. I'll share a clip from those guys. I did this with Hannon and Jay Thomas just the other week. A clip of what they actually said from their website. I'll share it, and then I'll just put my commentary right on top of it. And so you guys should do the same. Yeah, I agree with Leon. Oh, Leon is wrong on this. Oh, what is this chuckle nut talking about? That sort of thing. That way the conversation gets out there, more folks are in the know, more folks are in the conversation, and we don't have, like, what was it, 20% of North Dakotans voting in an election. Come on, guys. We need this. Anyway, I'm done on my soapbox. I'm done. God bless. This is the Feel Good Friday clip, and I will see you next week.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything you say, fifth. Go ahead, ask me a question. Did you fifth? I have a secret document that I think you need to say.
Hello, you all, sir. Good afternoon. I got your sentence reduced to a month.
Oh!
Good night. God bless.